Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Omitted Games. Today's episode, we are going to get into a mobile game. And before we get into that, guys, remember, you can always hit that follow button for Podbean. If you guys are liking so far every episode I'm putting up. I started social media pages as well. I started a Twitter, a YouTube, and Facebook page for the Omitted Games podcast, and they are all under Omitted Games. Now, some brief facts on the game. This is a game published by Square Enix. Now, if you guys don't know who Square Enix is, Square Enix is just one of the big gaming studios that publish um, a lot of or all of the Final Fantasy series games. And this game is set 30 years before the events of Final Fantasy VII. So I think that's pretty cool. I think this game might be part of the Final Fantasy timeline. Now, this game is, let's see, this game has a lot to offer. And even though you guys probably thinking, man, why? Number one, what is a Square Enix game doing on this list? Or some of you are probably like, man, I understand. It's a Square Enix game. It belongs in the list. But this game does have a lot to offer. I mean, a lot. It has a lot of in-game items that you can buy, mainly cosmetics, and cosmetics that means that you can customize. So you do have a character that you can customize. And it being Final Fantasy, the in-game items are mainly cosmetics that will make you look like one of the Final Fantasy characters. It does have a battle pass system, and I think just every game at this point is gonna have a battle pass system just because it works, and especially if you have customizable stuff that you can do in the game, it works. Um, this game does have a ranked mode and a regular casual mode, and it does have a solo and team mode. And let's see, it is a battle royale game. I did not mention that. And yes, you guys are probably thinking, man, it's a BR. What's it doing on the list? But it's just like every other BR. This game, well, just not like every other BR because it's Final Fantasy. And being in Final Fantasy, you guys are probably wondering, man, how does that work? Well, I think these guys did a great job at implementing the battle royale system into Final Fantasy by keeping the combat style kind of Final Fantasy ish, or no, not kind of. They really kept it Final Fantasy ish with just the added guns, like every other battle royale game in that sense with the guns. But in this battle royale game, they do let you use weapons that you choose from depending on the class that you pick. Now, this game offers 5 classes that you can choose from in this battle royale game, and those 5 classes are, I think, a ninja, a warrior, a sorcerer, a monk, and a ranger. And each class has a different type of fighting style, obviously going by the name. And I believe, you see, the sorcerer is good at magic, obviously. The warrior has buff abilities to help him in close combat fights. The ranger has scouting abilities. The monk is very, very good at close combat fighting because this person just uses their fists. And the ninja, and which is my personal favorite, has a double jump ability that I think is pretty cool and that comes in handy a lot. And just like every battle royale game, this game is set in one map, and the map that they chose is a Final Fantasy VII map, and it's set in Midgard. And all the locations within that map has sections of Midgard from Final Fantasy, and I think that's pretty cool that they did that. And just like every battle royale system, once you drop in Midgard, um, you do have to loot. You have to find your gear, and in this case, what you're looking for is mainly guns. And depending on the class you start out with a weapon or your melee, I guess, your melee weapon. And your melee weapon, depending on your class, will be a sword, a staff, I think daggers, a shuriken star, and your fist. I think it's pretty cool. They do have abilities that and that's because it's being Final Fantasy. Now the abilities I think is pretty cool, and that goes along with the class. Like I said, you ninja, they use stealth. The warrior is like a merc, sorcerer, they said magic, and monk, fizz, and ranger is like a scout. That's the abilities and stuff that they use. Now, again, it's being Final Fantasy. They also have magic in this game, and I believe the magic you can use is fire, ice, lightning, healing, magic, and I think magic that can impair like your opponent. And I think the coolest thing that they had it in this was that they kept it Final Fantasy ish, and they added summonings. They also have summonings in here, and that's pretty cool. And if you guys don't know Final Fantasy also really is big in doing summonings, and that's just calling forth some really powerful monsters that help and aid you in fights. And that they had, I think that they added this in this game. That being BR style is pretty cool, and it works. It works. I think it's amazing. They have monsters as well in the map that you can fight to level up your character as the stage progresses, so you can upgrade your abilities and stuff like that. There's also vehicles that you can use to help you traverse the maps, because the game being VR, the map is pretty big. You are able to drop in with 75 characters or opponents. Sorry, 75 opponents, and I think that's a pretty good size for a battle royale game. And that being said, everything I just said, I mean, what do you guys think? Sounds amazing, right? Sounds all fun, something that you can really get into. Or if it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. But I would think that these guys made a great transition into meshing a Final Fantasy title with a battle royale type style of gameplay. And I believe it works. And I think it would have worked even more if it was in consoles. Because, not to knock mobile games, but you can only get so much out of a mobile device. They're not really a PC or a console where you get more power out of it. And honestly, that's probably just the only downfall to this game. And because of that, it's just ending up on this list. And again, not to knock it, because there are really good mobile games that just, they hold their own, but this being a battle royale and having to compete with the likes of Apex, Call of Duty, Battlefield, it won't be able to keep up with those. But I think this would draw a lot of attention right now, but going forward, I think this game will just, be forgotten about. Well, guys, that was the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys agree with me with why the episode is on this list. And guys, don't forget to follow on Podbean. Don't forget to follow on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at OMITTED GAMES on all those platforms. And yeah, guys, thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your day.